Yo, check the clock. You think the Browns are trying to slow down the Shedeur Sanders train? Think again. Cleveland just hit the panic button. They wiped all the practice footage, locked the quarterback room, and now the offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, just fumbled the whole secret right into the mic. This isn't just about a backup QB. This is about a franchise terrified of a rookie who's leveling up too fast. The silence isn't a strategy. It's a full-blown cover-up. And I got the receipts, the quotes, and the breakdown that proves the Shedeur hype is not only alive, it's gone nuclear. Look, like Tommy Rees has found himself in the hot seat after it's been revealed that the Browns is not letting anyone watch practice with the quarterbacks or know if Shedeur Sanders will be quarterback too. Well, look like Tommy Rees is part of the, I'm not speaking about the Shedeur Sanders gang now, dog, and I'm here to tell you we should be hearing all the updates. Now, those you guys might not know this, there's not going to be pretty much any more footage of Shedeur Sanders coming out for practice. I believe they're trying to kill the Shedeur Sanders hype. I could be wrong, but good luck doing that, cause Shedeur don't need footage coming out to stay relevant, cause he gonna do what he did. So check this out. The Browns offensive coordinator just slipped up big time and might have accidentally exposed what's really going down with Shedeur Sanders and Dorian Thompson-Robinson. And no, this ain't some sideline gossip or fan theory. It's way messier than that. Players are whispering, fans are losing their minds, and Cleveland might have just fumbled their entire secret quarterback plan right in front of the world. So what exactly did this man say? Get ready, because what started as a simple interview just turned the Browns locker room into a full-blown reality show. Cameras aren't even needed. The drama is writing itself. Cleveland's now deep in their so-called "we're not hiding anything" era, which, let's be honest, always means they're hiding everything. The mysterious practice footage? Gone. Shedeur's clips vanish like they got locked up in a government vault. One minute, fans were watching clean spirals and rookie confidence that screamed future franchise quarterback. Want to keep Gabriel in the pocket as much as possible. Want to keep, are you talking about them defensively? Yeah. I mean, I think that's how they rush. You know, they do a nice job of trying to condense things inside, you know, keep wide edges to them. You know, he stepped up on the one scramble, backed up on an early third down, probably a couple opportunities there, you know, throughout the game to step up and go, but they did a nice job in their rush patterns. They had some twists and stunts where maybe you think you have an edge and then it's taken away. So that's pretty consistent with how teams want to rush. They want to push the inside and create edges on the outside. So, the next minute, poof. All that's left is dry press talk and a coach mumbling about progress. Classic Cleveland chaos, the only team that can make silence sound suspicious. And let's be real, if you thought the Shedeur Sanders hype train was slowing down, you better think again. You can't bury a story like this under vague answers and closed door practices. Shedeur doesn't need ESPN coverage to trend. The man could throw one pass in a parking lot and Twitter would explode. It's not just hype anymore, it's a movement. And Cleveland's about to find out that keeping a secret this big comes with a price because the whole league's watching. So while the Browns are busy hiding their highlight reels like top secret evidence, Shedeur Sanders is probably somewhere else chilling with his own camera setup, dropping lasers, and reminding everyone why his name just won't stop trending. The dude doesn't need the team's approval. He's building his own spotlight, one perfect throw at a time. The hype? Oh, it's not dying, it's mutating. It's gone underground now, real guerrilla style. Every time Cleveland tries to silence the noise, they make it 10 times louder. And standing awkwardly in the middle of this PR disaster is Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator who somehow became the mouthpiece for nothing to see here. He sounds like he's going to be the backup quarterback. Yeah, I would say the same thing because he, in 2 different quotes, he specifically went out of his way to say, "I'm very mindful of how we develop young players." That means he's priming the well to announce Shedeur as the number 3. And that quote too, you're right, he's leading us to the water and we can drink it. I mean, unless we're just misinterpreting what he's saying. That's the way it sounds to me. Yeah, but you know what? If that's your decision, stand on it like you said. Come out and say, "Look, I know people are." You can practically see the sweat forming as he speaks, every word sounding like it was pre-approved by a team of lawyers. He's so careful. It's like he's afraid blinking too hard might leak a secret. Whether he's talking about Dillon Gabriel or trying to dodge the real question, Shedeur, Tommy keeps tossing out polished phrases about steady progress and operational efficiency. Translation, please stop asking me about Sanders. The man's dodging quarterback questions like he's in a dodgeball tournament. It's wild. You can almost almost hear the PR team whispering behind him, "Stick to the script." And oh, what a script it is. Pure corporate poetry. He's out here describing Gabriel's timing, rhythm, and composure with all the enthusiasm of a robot reading a manual. It's like listening to someone describe a sandwich without ever admitting there's meat inside. He's got that kind of energy that pulls cameras in like gravity, the type of charisma you can't teach. And the Browns, man, they clearly have no clue what to do with it. Instead of letting it shine, they're trying to bottle it up like stuffing a wildfire into a Tupperware container. It's desperate and it's hilarious. That blackout on practice footage? Oh, that wasn't random at all. That was Cleveland smashing the panic button in real time. They're terrified that if fans see too much, the noise will drown out everything else. Because once people see what Shedeur Sanders can do, they're not going to shut up about it. But here's the kicker. You can't unring that bell. Once the world gets a glimpse of the next big thing, there's no deleting the curiosity. The hype doesn't die. It regenerates stronger, louder, and 10 times pettier. Every attempt to silence it just adds more fuel to the fire. And now, thanks to Tommy Rees's little oops moment where he accidentally confirmed that Shedeur's been improving fast, the mystery is juicier than ever. He didn't mean to say it, but he basically admitted what everyone's been whispering. Shedeur Sanders is leveling up way faster than the Browns expected, and they're not ready for that kind of storm. Meanwhile, poor Dillon Gabriel standing in the middle of all this chaos, looking like the substitute teacher who just realized the kids run the classroom. Everyone's pretending to respect him, but the contrast is impossible to ignore. Shedeur's the headline, Gabriel's the fine print, and Tommy knows it. That's why every "he handled it well" line feels too polished, too rehearsed, dripping with quiet panic. It's the kind of tension you can feel even through the interviews, the calm before Cleveland's next big meltdown. The biggest areas to improve. I mean, after one start, there's going to be things that he's more comfortable doing. And there's going to be rhythm there that he can get on the same page with the offensive line and the rest of the skilled players. And you just look to build, the continuity with the rest of the group. I think every time he steps out there with those guys, you'll see that continue to improve, whether it's communication or physical, just connecting on things. I think that continuity will continue to improve because deep down, they already know how this story ends. Dillon Gabriel might be getting his reps for now, but the longer Shedeur Sanders waits in the shadows, the louder those fan voices are going to roar. It's not a matter of if, it's when. The Browns can control the footage, lock the doors, and cut every camera angle they want, but they can't control the internet. You really think Twitter's just gonna sit there quietly while their favorite rookie vanishes? Please, the internet lives for this kind of chaos. Backs this season. I'm not surprised by this at all because the Cleveland Browns are a bad franchise. The Browns do not know what they are doing, and it's been this way for many, many years. Brian Clark said that if Shedeur Sanders is not the backup quarterback, it's time to part ways and it's time to trade him. And I 100% agree because if Bailey Zappi is QB2 behind Dylan Brooks, that's a problem because you're not looking for Bailey Zappi to be the franchise quarterback for the Browns. That's why you drafted Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders to figure out which one of these quarterbacks were going to take your team to the next level. And at this very moment, fans are out here making slow-mo edits, looping 2 seconds of grainy practice clips into full-blown highlight reels. They're writing their own scripts, spinning theories like it's a Netflix docuseries. That's the Shedeur effect. It doesn't fade, it multiplies. Every attempt to silence him just sends the hype into overdrive. And the funniest part, the Browns' desperate attempt to kill the buzz is actually feeding it. By cutting off access, they've turned every missing clip into a full-blown conspiracy. Fans are acting like Cleveland's hiding national secrets. And honestly, maybe they are. You can hear it in Tommy Rees's voice every time he's asked about the quarterbacks. He hides behind phrases like growth and development, which is just football code for we're not ready to admit what everyone already knows. Or Sanders moves up to the QB2 spot, right? Not so fast. Told you guys to pump the brakes on all that Shedeur Sanders to the QB2 narrative because Kevin Sansky came out today and said he is waiting until later in the week to make a decision on who will be QB2 between Shedeur Sanders and current practice squad quarterback Bailey Zappi. Now, Ian Rapoport last week, I think it was Sunday morning before the game in London, came out with a report talking about the Browns quarterback situation and said that the Browns do anticipate Shedeur Sanders starting for them at some point this season. But at some point, that talk stops sounding like strategy and starts sounding like fear. They're not developing him, they're delaying him. And poor Reese, bless his PR-trained soul, is stuck trying to spin that like it's all part of the grand plan. You can practically hear the gears grinding in his head when he starts talking about balancing reps. That's not balance, that's babysitting. It's the NFL version of telling a racehorse to slow down because the others are still tying their shoes. And guess what? When that horse finally runs, nobody's catching him. And then comes the part where Tommy Rees starts talking about Pittsburgh's defense, calling them physical, aggressive, experienced. Sure, all that's true, but let's be real. That's just coach code for we don't want our rookie catching that smoke yet. They're protecting Shedeur like he's classified material. So, what's the plan? Simple. Let Dillon Gabriel take the hits. Let him be the human crash test dummy while Shedeur quietly gets built into a monster behind the curtain. It's low-key genius. Rather do my taxes early than watch this playbook. It seems like somebody tweeted this. They said it seems like a chore watching the Browns instead of like entertainment. It really is. Not one kid on my baseball team watched the Browns game yesterday. For what? Why would they? These are kids who like sports. I mean, fantasy football, they have a fantasy football league. They're into scoring, obviously. Jason's brought this point up a number of times on the show, and it's never been more true than now because I think we're into the second gen. Risk management disguised as loyalty. But the fans, they're not buying it for a second. They've seen the same script way too many times. The Browns love juggling quarterbacks. Like it's a reality show casting call. 1 week, it's promise. The next, it's panic. So while Reese stands there rambling about progressions and protections, fans are already talking about destiny. While he's breaking down ball placement, everyone else is breaking down body language. You can feel the tension every time a reporter even mentions Shedeur's name. It's like a chess game where one side's cornered but still pretending they've got moves left. The Browns can't say too much because if they admit how good he's looked in practice, the media will go nuclear. But if they say too little, people start assuming something even crazier is going on. It's a lose-lose situation wrapped in a press conference smile. That Bailey Zappi is likely to be named the number 2 quarterback behind Dillon Gabriel instead of Shedeur Sanders. I know a practice squad guy that was just there as a serviceable practice piece is about to out-jump from day one. I've been telling y'all Coach Kevin Stefanski, General Manager Andrew Berry, and the offensive staff Tommy Ree and Billy Musgrave, and never wanted or never truly trusted nor wanted Shedeur Sanders in the first place. That's not hate. That's the reality. See, Jimmy Haslam only wanted him for the team, keeps repeating the same line. Everyone's stepping up since Joe Flacco's exit, but that's not reassurance. That's translation for nobody actually knows who's in charge right now. Reese keeps tossing around phrases like collective effort in the quarterback room, but we all know what that means. Controlled chaos. Gabriel's calm, Shedeur's electric, and Deshaun, he's probably sitting somewhere realizing the spotlight slipping again. Cleveland's trying to juggle egos, reputations, and expectations all at once, but that kind of balancing act never ends pretty. And the wildest part, every week they stall. That rookie they're hiding just keeps getting harder to ignore. You can't pack 3 big personalities like that into one quarterback room without somebody feeling the pressure. The Browns might smile for the cameras, acting like it's all harmony and brotherhood, but anyone with eyes can feel the silent competition buzzing underneath. Will be the second string quarterback until Deshaun Watson. I'm still rolling hard with that Deshaun Watson theory that I believe Deshaun Watson is going to come back. Now, something that I told you guys the other day is looking like it's starting to grow some legs, and people was definitely starting to talk about it. Well, just like I told y'all, I was getting word back in. When was that? Like late July, early August, that none other than the Cincinnati Bengals wanted to get Gabriel's out here clinging to the starting spot like it's his last lifeline. Shedeur's lurking, calm, patient, but ready to strike. And the coaches, they're pretending it's all about growth. Please, this ain't growth, it's tension management. The Browns are walking a tight rope between patience and panic. And Tommy Ree is the poor guy wobbling with the balancing pole, trying to keep it all from crashing down. But here's the real question. If Shedeur's improving that fast, how long can they really keep him chained to the sideline before the whole locker room explodes? It's almost poetic how predictable this franchise's chaos is. The Browns have a signature move. They create their own drama. They draft electric talent, bury it, overthink it, and then act shocked when the truth leaks out. You can't hide star power, and Shedeur's got it by the truckload. He's not some quiet developmental project. He's a walking headline. The kind of player who turns a random media day into a cultural moment. Trying to hide that kind of charisma under team focus is like trying to block sunlight with a napkin. Talking about the Cleveland Browns this year, it's because of Shedeur Sanders. That's the only reason the Cleveland Browns weren't getting no type of talk on these sports shows. But ever since they signed Shedeur Sanders, they have been primetime television. And they're not even talking about what the Browns are doing on the field. They're just talking about the QB battle between him, Dillon Gabriel, and whoever the third quarterback is. And now that the Cleveland Browns traded Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals, you would think that Shedeur Sanders got to be QB2 too, right? Well, no, because as of right now, Kevin Sansky hasn't decided who was going to be the backup. Oh, it's ridiculous. And let's dig into the psychology behind this blackout. The Browns aren't just protecting a rookie, they're protecting their sanity. They've lived through years of quarterback chaos, scandal, and disappointment, and now they're terrified of another circus. But here's the thing, this generation of fans doesn't want mystery, they want access. They crave hype, personality, transparency, all the things Cleveland's allergic to. Every time a coach starts stuttering through another vague explanation, the fans get louder, the internet gets bolder, and the secret gets harder to keep. You can almost feel it, that storm of truth building, ready to blow the lid off the Browns' so-called plan. When they get asked about readiness, it's pure comedy disguised as strategy. The Browns are literally fueling the exact speculation they're trying so hard to shut down. It's almost adorable in a please clap kind of way. They hype up Dillon Gabriel's composure like that's supposed to make people forget about Shedeur's raw swagger. That's like trying to swap out 4th of July fireworks for a lavender-scented candle. Nice try, but nobody's impressed. And every single week, this storyline tightens like a knot that I've been making you guys aware. This whole Shedeur situation wasn't a football decision. It was a business move made by owner Jimmy Haslam, who saw Shedeur as a marketing goldmine, not a quarterback to build around. Haslam knew bringing in Deion Sanders' son would boost ticket sales, jersey revenues, and the national attention for a team that's been stuck in mediocrity. And I probably butchered that, just like the Browns quarterback situation, no pun intended, but it's been a meteor below average functional act surprisingly organization for well over 4 decades and way worse since the purchase to the Haslam families, and Gabriel does just enough to stay in the picture. Shedeur stays quiet enough to keep everyone wondering, and Tommy Rees keeps juggling interviews like he's on the witness stand. The poor man's giving politician energy at this point, talking for 10 minutes without saying anything. But here's the truth, there's no smooth exit from this circus, because eventually Shedeur's going to force their hand. He's too talented, too magnetic, and too marketable to keep hidden forever. The man's a walking headline. You can delay him, but you can't deny him. And when that moment hits, Cleveland's gonna have to admit what the fans already figured out. This is his team. They're just babysitting it for him. Until then, the Browns will keep preaching the gospel of steady progress. They'll talk about chemistry, trust, and building continuity. Like, those words still mean something, but let's be honest, this isn't patience. It's procrastination in a team hoodie. They're stretching those buzzwords so far, they're about to snap. Meanwhile, fans have turned into full-blown detectives. They're studying every pixel of every sideline shot, zooming in like it's a government file. If Shedeur so much as sneezes off camera, someone on Reddit swears it's part of his secret training routine. It's obsessive, it's hilarious, and it's exactly what happens when a team tries to bury hype instead of managing it. The Browns thought they could control the narrative, but all they've done is make the legend grow louder. I think Is It Shedeur now is second string. I know Baya Zappi's on their practice squad, and Deshaun Watson, we've seen him on a practice field every now and then. What's the Browns' plan here moving forward, do you think? Well, starting off on Deshaun Watson, he's coming back from 2 Achilles tears. That's a very long rehab process. Obviously, he's been documenting that on his social media. I have not gotten the sense that anything is imminent in terms of Deshaun Watson getting back on the field. Bailey Zappi's in his second run now on Cleveland's practice squad. But this does really clear the space now that for everybody saying, why isn't Shedeur? By the time this season hits the halfway mark, the Browns' whole whole "we're taking our time" act is going to look ridiculous. Dillon Gabriel can stay as professional as he wants, but you can't outwork momentum. Once that locker room starts believing Shedeur Sanders is ready, it's game over. The players will feel it, the media will sense it, and deep down, Tommy Rees already knows it. He's not managing quarterbacks anymore. He's managing expectations, and those expectations are blowing up faster than Cleveland's ability to contain them. It's honestly poetic how this saga is unfolding. The franchise that tried to hide a headline ended up creating a legend. They thought shutting off cameras would calm things down, but it only made Shedeur a myth. Every missing clip became evidence. Every silence turned into a story. And when you turn a player into a mystery, you make him larger than life. The Browns didn't kill the hype. They accidentally supercharged it. What started as a PR move has turned into a full-blown cultural moment. And that's exactly why Rees's press conference hit so differently. He didn't drop any big revelations, but the subtext was screaming. Every time he dodged a question about Shedeur's readiness, every vague word about growth or chemistry, it was written all over his face. This is an internal crisis disguised as caution. They're not protecting Shedeur from the field. They're protecting themselves from the backlash, because once they finally put him in, there's no turning back. If he lights it up, the old guard's done. If he struggles, the franchise takes the hit. Taking a lot of the practice squad snaps. Yeah. Listen, Kevin Stefanski is really enjoying this moment. Kevin Stefan is making the Browns organization basically Jerry Springer. He's making it basically my Povich when my Povich does the goddamn DNA test and the girl gets up screaming and they run around with the camera. Yeah. That's exactly what he's making. He's making a mockery of the situation and enjoying it. Yeah, he's enjoying it. Just announce the goddamn court. It's a lose-lose built entirely on fear, and Cleveland sitting right in the middle of it, trying to act like this was all part of the plan. But the truth, the storm's already here, and Shedeur Sanders is the eye of it. Shedeur Sanders isn't just another rookie learning the ropes. He's the kind of player who changes a whole team's energy the second he walks into the room. You can see it, the way his teammates light up, the way reporters can't stop circling his name, and how every fan debate somehow ends with, when are they finally starting Shedeur? The man's not chasing attention, it just follows him. The Browns can keep trying to stage manage this circus, but you can't script authenticity. That's what makes this whole thing so wild. Cleveland's trying to choreograph a storm like it's a halftime show. They think they're controlling the narrative, but in reality, the narrative's controlling them. Every move, every silence, every awkward word out of Tommy Rees's mouth gets dissected online like it's a riddle from a mystery movie. The man could mention what he had for lunch, and fans would swear he's dropping hints about Shedeur starting next week. They've turned simple press conferences into full-blown treasure hunts. And honestly, the Browns deserve it. They built this frenzy themselves. Because when that day comes, when Cleveland finally pulls the curtain back, Tommy Rees won't have to say a word. The truth will be standing right there on the field, throwing lasers, dropping jaws, and making the Browns look like the last ones to realize what they had all along. That's the real punchline here. Cleveland didn't just try to hide a rookie. They accidentally created a legend. So if you've been keeping up with this saga, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share this with your football crew, and I'll see you on the next one. Because this story, it's only just getting started.